What's going on, everybody? Today is Monwan Thursday, November 14th.
Well, I don't.
I just wanted to annoy Gina. We're here to talk about the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras. What's up, everybody? Let's kick this thing off. All right, everybody. My name, of course, is Mr. John Dunphy. Oh, wow, I don't have my hyphenated. John Dunphy Judea, standing my queen, Mariah, with the fantastic thighs. I'll fix that, don't worry.
Oh, my.
I'm joined, as always, by my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty-Pasal and Miss Gina Moore. Gino. What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Nobody's okay. How they're doing?
No one's doing.
All right, everybody's doing.
I didn't really know that was to answer. Sometimes, like, people say that as the greeting. Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing? This is what we're talking about tonight. Like, I didn't think it was real. I was waiting for the next thing. I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good.
Oh,
Gina,
my
how
God.
are you? How are you doing, Gina?
I'm great now. Now that everything is working and I'm with my friends.
Yes. And we are Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. And we might have an announcement about our socials because we've had enough. We've had enough of the musk that is coming from Twitter.
The irony of it all.
Yeah,
we are not on the blue sky, and now all of a sudden we're coming back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, though,
I made a personal one yesterday.
The skies are becoming more clue and blue. So.
Cluer and bluer, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Look for us on Blue Sky. All right, let's talk about the last two episodes of the challenge, episodes 12 and 13. Now, these were called
2 episodes.
That's right. We're catching up because we didn't. We It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks since we streamed about the challenge.
Yeah, and I've missed so many that I didn't realize I missed 2 of this. That's all I was. Yeah. Okay.
That's all right. I've got the notes.
And thank God, because I'm like, what happened 2 weeks ago?
I've got everything here. Don't you guys worry. We're going to talk about this. Well, because think about it this way too. This week, last night, we had an episode, but the week before we had the mini final. So that's the one we haven't talked about yet that we're catching up on. So I think as
years ago,
I know, but I think as we get into it and talk about it, your memories will be refreshed.
Yeah, let's do it.
So. The first question I have
is
is Ferris here?
Yeah.
He probably still doesn't like me, so I hope he does. I hope he likes me. I love him. I love him.
We love you too, Ferris. Always and forever. Always a Basal.
But yes, so we are here. My first question for you both was, what's with all the foot stuff this season? There's been so many talks and comments about foot massages, and Bananas is cutting his toenails in the chamber, and people are playing footsie on the bus, and Cara Marie is talking about her bunions. What's happening here?
It's a lot of feet stuff, but I also think that it's really rooted in a lot of jealousy, if I'm going to be honest here. These other girls are just so super bothered by the fact that they're not involved in the feet stuff. They're so mad about it. Michelle was so left out. And it's one thing to be, if that's your kink, whatever, you go on, get down with the get down if that's what it is, but to talk about I guess my feet aren't pretty enough. Oh, no, my feet. It's
what are we doing?
What's happening here? It went from being judgmental to them for that being allegedly their kink, because no, they didn't actually say that, but if you want to go with that narrative, to now kind of and it just sounded like a bunch of jealous girls, everyone talking about how ugly their feet are and they can't be part of it. It's this is actually taking a different turn.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you guys about the whole Bananas and Aviv drama on the bus, right? This is actually from the second episode we're going to talk about tonight, but I just want to get this out of the way, right away. So obviously they're on the bus. Johnny and Aviv's feet touch. Michelle makes a comment. Do you think that was just feet bumping into each other, or was there something more here? Was there footsie being played? And I have the video. I want you guys to take a look. Let me know what you think. All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Take a look. It's going to show us where Johnny's feet and Aviv's feet are. All right, take a look.
Can my feet join the party?
I don't know. What do we think here?
I just don't need to be looking at feet that much.
Was that footsie or just some harmless foot bumping?
I think it can be anything you really want it to be, if you're going to be honest. Like, no, because I'm a very touchy person. If we're sitting on the couch, I can see myself doing like this to you or like something like that. And if like you don't view feet as a thing, then that wouldn't necessarily be a thing. You know, so
Yeah.
I don't know these people well enough to know what the intention was behind that. But like, could it be a little flirty? Yeah, maybe. But that
Sure.
also doesn't mean that it has to be like as much as they're making it out to be. That's all. I think we're way overthinking it only because it's feet. Like, but if it wasn't that, and it was just people poking each other like that, you would just think it was just innocent flirting. But all of a sudden, because it's a toe, it's no good. So, like, I don't like this. I think it's an overthought, and we want it to be something. And again, at the end of the day, you're just mad because your feet were not invited to the party. That's what this is really about.
Yeah.
My feet joined the party because you're so mad that your feet aren't good now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't know. The whole thing was just very funny. So
Just such a ridiculous thing that's now been a multi-episode narrative. I'm like, what?
Yes, this is ridiculous.
I know,
like, who cares?
Right. Because it's been all over like Twitter too, and I even like was just searching it online just to see like people talking about Bananas and Aviv, and all over Reddit too. People were talking about it, so I'm like,
Well,
and this is also why I also feel like Michelle sucks, because she would be so pissed if her and Devin were doing this on the bus and Bananas started saying something. And it's like, Michelle wants to talk about how like, because after this, Michelle apologized to Aviv and was like, oh, I shouldn't be stooping to Johnny's level. And I'm like, Michelle, you do this all the time. You will yell at people and you'll call people out and you'll blow people up. You'll blow people's spots up. And the second someone does it to you, you want to whine and you want to cry. And that's what Michelle always does.
Yes, and the thing about even the way they just delivered that, I feel like it is technically an inaccuracy, because it wasn't like Michelle proactively apologized to Aviv. It was because Aviv came to her as an adult and said, hey, didn't really appreciate that. And that's when the apology came.
Yeah.
Michelle was never going to do that on her own, because Michelle never thinks she does anything wrong. But honestly, I think that the larger issue with this whole feet thing actually has nothing to do with Michelle, Bananas, or Aviv, or anyone in Bananas Angels. This absolutely reflects the fact that this show should not be 90 minutes long. I didn't need any of this. If you went right back to this being 60 minutes, we could have cut all of this nonsense out and we would have been all the better for it.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. That's very fair.
It's like, oh, there's no chamber, so what are they doing with the feet now? It's like, enough. Like, who cares? Just go right to the elimination, skip all this crap.
No, it's very fair. It's very fair. Yeah. And I also felt bad for Aviv, because like this is a married woman with children that we're talking about, and it's just like, you know,
cut it out. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Is she flirting? Yes, but let's not make it a thing that now she goes home and now like it's a whole big thing. Like, she wasn't flirting any more than somebody might at happy hour. So leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Right. Okay, well, let's get into like the actual things that happened in these episodes that are not about feet. So, obviously, on the coattails of last episode, we knew that coming into episode 12, the era of the Purge, we'd have Bananas, Jordan, and Nehemiah as our targets. And things were interesting here. We've talked about Cara Maria a little bit, like being a floater, but it was in this moment that I feel like you see things kind of changing a little bit for Cara, because even people like Michelle, Olivia, and Kyland, right? They're talking about maybe potentially working with Cara at this point in the game. And they want to just find a way to get out Bananas and his angels. And I feel like it's showing even more just how much of a gamer that like Rachel is. And like coming from era 1, the fact that she has been so good socially, because we talked about her kind of teaming up with different people, and Jordan being one of them. This time it was Kyland, and I feel like Jordan and Kyland keep trading those daily challenge wins. So Rachel, I don't know how she keeps, like, she's known throughout the house as one of Banana's angels, right? She's a beast in herself physically, and then she's also picking up all these other allies. Like, I'm just continue to be impressed with Rachel week after week after week. Yeah.
God, she's just amazing. Any expectation that I had for Rachel when I selected her to be a part of Team Petty Basal, she has smashed and like just exceeded. I am so excited, not just for Rachel like in this season, just for her going forward. Like, am I going to be one of those Rachel fitness people? Like, all of a sudden, like getting my tits in order. Like, I'm just so excited with her. I'm so excited.
It's just so crazy because I feel like literally anybody else in her position in this game would have been picked off the second they were a lone wolf in their era. But she, like, it's so crazy how long she has managed to survive, like being kind of having no choice but to be on her own.
And now she's just kind of like blended into the background. No one's even talking about her. No one's looking at her. She's not a thing anymore, which is really fascinating because her back has been up against the wall quite a few times. Like, she was the only female target for like how long? And like, just kept getting out of it. And all of a sudden, no one's talking about her. They should still.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Rachel
she's
incredible.
playing a fantastic game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's awesome. One other thing that we were keeping an eye on going into this daily challenge was Aviv's foot injury. She said that her plantar fasciitis was acting up.
The what?
Plantar fasciitis. Yes. It's actually it's a very painful injury to deal with. But so she was, worried about going into this next daily challenge, hoping it wasn't a lot of running involved. But of course, we found out that this was going to be a mini final. And this mini final was called Doomed. In this, we had some different checkpoints. Our competitors were racing to checkpoint 1, where they would have to dig in the sand to find a key. They then have to race to checkpoint 2, where they'd have to unlock their paddleboard. And then after paddleboarding a mile downriver, they'd have to race up a hill to checkpoint 3, where they'd complete a memory game and then sprint to the finish. As far as
I feel like it's been so long since Kyle's done a reenactment like that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Going into this, also, I should just also mention Theo had a 2-minute penalty. Didn't actually make any difference. I didn't need to mention that at all. But as far as mini finals go, what did you guys think of this one? I was a little bored.
Like, it was fine.
They should have thrown.
Oh, thank God. I was scared it was going to be in the minority on that one.
No, I just I don't really have anything to say about it. Like, it was,
Right. I actually think the challenge from this week was more interesting than
the
mini final.
Oh, I totally agree. I enjoyed the challenge from this week was way more entertaining than the mini final. And I won't say that the mini final wasn't like difficult. It definitely looked more difficult than a regular daily challenge, but it didn't feel like
it just wasn't fun to watch.
It didn't really feel like a mini final to me. Like, it just kind of was very boring and like.
Yeah, honestly, the only excitement really came from the fact that Aviv said she had this injury. I hope there's no running, and it's like doing a mini final, all running, and it's like, so that was entertaining. But it didn't seem like it bothered her at all. So even that didn't truly pay off. So, who cares?
Yeah, no, she was good. She came in 5th place for the women, with Cara Maria actually in the bottom 3 for the women in this, which I was a little surprised about.
A little surprised with that,
yeah. Especially because like during this mini final, there were a couple of times where they showed Jenny like really struggling, and we've known, I think, from a previous elimination performance that Jenny's endurance is not really Jenny's strength.
Nil.
And we saw in this, there was a confessional where Rachel was noticing it, saying like, it seems like Jenny can't really run more than a half a mile without using an inhaler. That seems like someone I'd want to run a final against. Like, that's what Rachel was saying. And other people were taking note as well. But I will say And Jenny came in third place for the women in this. It was only Tori and Rachel that beat her. Like, the fact that she beat Aviv. I mean, Olivia is a great competitor, but I still, for some reason, put Aviv and Cara Maria over even Olivia. I don't know. Like, I feel like Olivia's first season was a little bit of a fluke. I'm just going to throw it out there.
John, I couldn't agree more. I think the sun has set on Miss Olivia. I can't tell you how elated I am that Gina has dropped her name, because she's not it. She's not it. She's a horrible character on the show. She is not putting up the way that she said she would. She is a letdown in every sense of the phrase.
It's so upsetting because like she was a sick competitor, but I feel like the drama and the boys are like distracting her. Like she's just not doing it.
Yeah, this is not the Olivia. Like, if you're not with Horacio, then I'm not interested. Like, she's been completely. To play devil's advocate with my own thought here, because I kind of think that Olivia is almost falling victim to the trap of the challenge, in that, like, we have to make sure we have these relationships to have a storyline to make sure we're invited back. I have to make sure I have this thing with this person. So, like, this whole Theo thing, I think, is crap. I can't believe how many times I heard the phrase best friend in this last episode. Y'all are not best friends. You're not, oh, I have to send my best friend. I got my best friend. Every time you're in elimination, it's your best friend. That means it's not your best friend. Yeah. So, like, just stomp it. Like, everybody's just crying all over the place. I don't know how to do this without you. It's just, oh my God, this show, it just sucks lately. It just sucks.
And honestly, there was even a comment from Olivia here with before Theo went into the elimination, right, against Bananas, because Theo finished second to last for the men in the mini finals, so we knew he would be going into elimination because Nehemiah finished last and was purged. And there was like a comment that Olivia made, like, they literally just met each other in this house on this season, and Olivia was making a comment at one point about Theo going into elimination, like, oh, like, maybe I should break up with him to, like, light a fire under his ass. And I'm like, what are you talking about, break up with him? Like, do you really think you're in a real relationship with this person?
Right. I break up with him. And you think that is going to be the thing, that's going to be the event in his life that gets him to turn up his game. He's going to be like, well, whatever, girl. What's your last name again? I don't know you.
Right. Like,
so
I'm sorry.
Again, like, I think it is a product of, like, her reality TV journey started on Love Island. Like, I do think that there is just a piece of that that's kind of carried over, you know?
Well, I think that she herself is too caught up on that. Because I have to say, like, coming out, I know she came from Love Island, but she went into that Ride or Die season and had, like, a fantastic season with Horacio.
Yeah.
And I thought of both of them as, like, real contenders on the challenge going forward. And I feel like they both, and I think that they both should have thought of themselves in that regard as well. But coming into this episode now, where Olivia gets eliminated by Michelle, there was a point where, like, Olivia was talking, I think in her exit interview, like, oh, I'm so happy that I made it this far. And I mean, like, you know, like, I came from Love Island after all. And I'm like, Olivia, you've done 3 seasons of the challenge now, right?
Yeah, your first season was a freaking unreal season.
You made it to the final in your first season. You've then gone to battle for a new champion. You're on Battle of the Eras, and you're talking now.
And only went home. And sorry.
No, but I'm just
you're
saying,
what I was going to say.
And you're saying to yourself, I came from Love Island. It's like, no, you've done multiple seasons of this show and done very well in certain seasons. Like, why are you selling yourself short by saying, like, I came from Love Island? Like, what are you talking about?
Get out of here. The only reason you went home in that final, which I know is what Gina was going to say, you only went home in that final because you had that injury. If you didn't have that, I think that Horacio and Olivia were like, they were set up to win that. So it's like, you keep selling yourself short and acting like you're some kind of accessory to everybody else's game, you know, whether it be a man or Michelle, your best friend. Yeah. First, I had to send my first best friend home. Then I had to send another best friend home. And it's like, my best friend. You just get the hell out of here. Like, go home. Go home. Now I get to go see my man. Do you even know his last name? I feel like you forgot who he was. My man. His name is Theo. Theo Campbell.
Wow.
Oh, yes. No, I agree. I agree with everything.
Damn.
But so, yes.
Boom roasted.
Is that an Office reference?
Yeah. Boom roasted.
Oh God. But so yes, our mini final results were that both Nehemiah and Laurel, and we have to talk about this. Laurel were purged. What the hell is up with Laurel?
Ridiculous.
I'm sorry, she did not quit when it was just her and Michelle there. She had quit earlier than that. She was done. There was a point where they showed all the people still competing, running around, and Laurel was there, Michelle was there. You had Cara there, you had Aviv there, you had Olivia, and Laurel was just kind of sitting around. Because here's the thing, too, right? Olivia finished 4th. Okay, I'm looking. I got all the standings in front of me here for the men and the women. Okay,
oh, he used a highlighter now.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Okay, look at that. Men, women. Okay. Now you see, Olivia finished 4th. Okay. She got to the end of this race and she was telling people that had finished, oh yeah, Laurel's still there with Michelle, but I think Laurel like gave up at one point.
Yep.
After Olivia, we still had both Aviv and Cara Maria show up. So there were still 4 women competing in this mini final when Olivia was telling everybody that Laurel had given up.
Yeah.
There were still 3 people there for Laurel to beat. She had given up already. This is Laurel. Tori in this episode called her maybe the greatest female competitor in the history of the challenge, and she is quitting.
I know I don't know Laurel in her heyday, but literally every season that I have seen her in, I do not like her. I don't get her. I don't get her hype. I know I've missed a lot of lore.
You've seen her win a season though. All Stars 4, she won. So
like she socially annoyed me that season.
That's because she was with Nicole.
Do it for me.
I think Nicole being on All Stars 4 might have been the worst thing that's ever happened to Laurel in the challenge.
While I do not like a lot of the decisions that Laurel has been making in her return to this game, I am ultra hesitant to criticize her decision to tap out during this challenge because I know that when I am hot, I am also done. So like granted, I do not consider myself a challenge champion. I don't think I'm one of the best. I never would be, but I'll tell you, heat can definitely do me in. It can do me in. So I can't say nothing to this.
I can't imagine this is her first time competing in heat.
No, but you know what? As we get older, we prioritize our time differently. And we sit here and say, you know what? I did just win All Stars 4. I don't need this.
I don't need this.
I don't need this. And I'm not saying that's the attitude you should have, but I could see it being the attitude that I'd have if I just did back to back. So like I can't really slam this, but I don't think that the Laurel of yesteryear would have done this.
Yeah. I also think, I don't know if it was this episode or just a more recent episode, but we did see recently too that Laurel told us that her All Stars 4 win allowed her to pay her way through veterinary school debt free. Like she's paid off. Mm-hmm. So like I could see her, like you said, she just won All Stars 4. She may not be in the financial position that some of these other people are. It still sucks to see somebody like Laurel quit, but in a way, I guess I could understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, but I don't like these people. I'm not really having a good time. Yeah. It's mad hot. You know what? I'm out.
It felt so weak in this moment. Like it just
weak. And if we can dive a little, we'll get a little bit more granular. You'll allow me because I'm not really asking you. But like.
Go for it. You don't have to.
The other thing here is that I do also view, and I'm speaking very seriously here, I do think that Laurel is a little bit of an insecure person. And I think that somebody like her might have seen this purge as a way to leave gracefully without her reputation or anything being marred. So it's like, okay, I tapped out. This was my decision. I just said I was too hot. I'm over it. So I'm out of here. You didn't beat me. I left.
Yeah.
So in terms of that and like, ego and pride, this is a good time. If I don't feel like I'm really up to getting to the end of this is my time to go.
Yeah. Do you think then, so Cara made a comment about Laurel kind of being out of shape and not wanting to be embarrassed in a final. Do you think there's truth to that?
Yeah, I just wouldn't put it so harshly.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe we would be intimidated by what the end looks like, and looking at the rest of these female competitors, like your Rachels, that we would just so celebrating. I could see being intimidated by that and like coming off of a win. Is that how I really want to go out with an era one person knocking me out? Like, I could see maybe being in your head about that a little bit. So, you know, I'm going to have a little bit more control over when I leave this game. So I'm just going to step out on my own. Y'all can say you can say whatever you want about the fact that I'm too hot. Yeah, I'm hot.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Does this, there's been a lot of Laurel, Cara drama the last couple of seasons between All Stars and now season 40. And a lot of talk from Laurel about how Cara can't beat her. And obviously Cara didn't beat her one-on-one here, but Laurel tapped out and Cara didn't. Does this give Cara any bragging rights over Laurel for any future beefs?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it does. Because you didn't actually beat her.
Yeah.
Because again, she went out on her own. Like everyone said, it looked like she gave up. She said she gave up. How can you say, "Oh, I beat you"?
Yeah.
You can't beat me if I quit.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to this episode's elimination. I don't really think there's much. Well, I guess there is one other thing. So Theo, straight to elimination. Michelle, penalty next daily challenge. Nehemiah and Laurel purged. So let's go to the chamber. That's what we have to do before we get to the elimination. We pretty much knew what was going to happen here. Tori won the mini final. Theo came in last place, second to last place. So he was directly going in. So now Tori had to make a choice between either Bananas or Jordan to go against Theo in elimination. No one was surprised that it would be Bananas. Any thoughts on Bananas grooming himself during the chamber, cutting his toenails and filing his nails and trimming his facial hair? And
No, these are the same hijinks though that I think that I associate with Laurel. Like in these moments where we're feeling ultra insecure and we can kind of see what the writing is on the wall. Because I've been a character that has come into every single situation. Anytime I'm faced with any kind of tribulation, I come into it with such bravado. Like, what do I do in this moment to maintain that facade? So I have to act like I don't care. It just plays into the entire thing of like, oh, I'm making my fake target, bands, because like I just know it's going to be me. I know it's going to be me. It's a way of projecting, because deep down it really bothers him very much that he's not as in control of this game as he likes to be. I think he's super bothered. And this is his way of acting like he's not, but everyone knows he is.
Yeah. I feel like the thing that sets Bananas apart for me with other people when they act like this is that Bananas can like back it up.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. I know Bananas is such an asshole, and I know that he is such an irritant. But the guy has won more than anyone else. He's been playing this game for 20 years, whatever, more than that, maybe. And when he consistently gets put in, what do we see him do this episode, right? Like, he was the target. He knew he was the target. He showed up and he beat an Olympian in this elimination. But I will say, getting into the elimination, so this was called, what was this called? It was cramping something? Oh, cramping out, right? Okay, so that's what it was.
This is,
I want to get your opinions on this elimination. Obviously, I saw some people online calling shenanigans. Theo is a big man. He's a lot taller than Bananas. His shoulders are a lot wider. And this elimination consisted of both competitors having their own tube that they had to crawl through. And their opponents would get to place poles all throughout this tube to try to make it consistently harder and harder and harder for their opponent to get through. Now, after each time that they went through the tube, they would have to go to TJ and essentially play a game of high-low. So there was a chance factor to this elimination where it was whoever's turn it was would be shown a card. They would have to guess high or low. Depending on the outcome, they would either get two poles, to put in their opponent's tube, or only one. So I'm curious. Did anybody else just get a very loud buzzing sound?
I think it's coming from Kyle.
My heat kicked on. Sorry.
That's okay.
Mobile home problems.
That's okay.
It'll stop in a little bit. It's 30 degrees. Come on. It's New York.
Yeah, cold. Almost December. But so anyway, what were your thoughts on this elimination? The fairness of it, the chance factor of it. Did you like that, or did you? I don't really know if I like there being an element of chance in an elimination.
That was my issue with it. I don't really care that Theo's body is the size that it is. I don't think the game makers, the Seneca Cranes of the world, are sitting here and saying what's most fair for this eliminated couple. This is the game that was planned for this week. That's just what you get. But the high-low, that's lame. I like the sense that it can flip-flop, whether or not you're putting 2 polls in or 1 poll. I think that's fun. But I don't know. I don't know what's a better option.
Yeah.
It has to be something that we can verify, that we really, really know for sure that this was not rigged. It felt like Bananas could have an advantage here because he's smaller and of course he's going to get through. So that means he gets to choose first. But that doesn't really mean how can you stack the cards to really make it be in Bananas' favor? Because you still don't really know that he's going to get through first. So,
yeah, no, I know. I just, what a weird game.
I don't know that I necessarily thought that there was any foul play to it. I just didn't like it. I just thought it was kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's not an exciting watch.
If there's some other task that they both have to complete, once they get out of the tube, and whoever finishes first gets to add 2 tubes to their opponents, or two poles to their opponent's tube. Maybe that's something. But I just didn't like the chance.
Something more than I don't know, pull a card. Yeah. It's okay.
Even a mini puzzle or something like that. I don't know. Whoever can move the most beat. Remember when we went to the chiropractor or the doctor's office, when we were a kid, and to move the little beads.
Oh, the little yeah.
Yeah, because it's not quite an abacus. Is that how you say it, an abacus?
Yes.
The little thing. Yes. It's not quite that, but just something goofy or silly to take some of the chance out of it, so you can at least say you performed an activity.
Still have some agency.
Yes, you have some control over what happened here. So the chance of it kind of sucks. But I also, to really get granular, how do you really stack the odds in someone's favor? You can't really know. It just didn't, with the history that this show has and the integrity that's always been questioned, this doesn't feel good.
I'd almost prefer, and I don't necessarily think Kyle would like this, but I would prefer over a high-low thing with just random cards, all right, run, get through your tube as fast as you can, come back to TJ, and then it's a trivia question. Whoever answers first or something, or knows the answer, you know what I mean? Something like that. I know you don't love trivia, Kyle, but and
I'd like that better though.
But at least
I like trivia. I don't like TJ in trivia.
Right.
If Julie did trivia, I'm down.
Right.
Trivia is not a problem. She'll go to a trivia night. Yeah. We like that.
Because then TJ. It's just one question. Whoever answers first, they get to put 2 poles in their opponent's tube. It's not chance.
Yeah, maybe it's just a trivia question that if you got through first, you get to answer first, and then if you got it wrong, then it goes to the other person.
Sure, yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Cards is it's not even fun as a viewer.
No, definitely. But I will say Theo did great in this, even with the size disadvantage, with how large he is.
Lose by much, it was right there.
Yeah, he really did a great job, and it made me feel like Theo, I hope, continues to show up on the challenge.
I think he will. He's always wanted to be back there. After he had that eye injury, he's been itching to come back to this for a really long time. So I don't think we don't see Theo going forward. That would be the one positive to this fake relationship with Olivia, because she's so ingrained here. You can almost count on the fact that Theo will come back because this nonsense. But I would like to see Theo again because I actually quite like him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But so yes, Theo goes home. Bananas takes the win. And this is the second time that Bananas has won an elimination, but was unable to name Tori as a target because she keeps winning daily challenges.
Oh, I love it.
So Bananas names Olivia and Michelle as targets, of course. Some of Tori's biggest allies, and then Cara Maria, because that was it. It was either Cara or one of his angels. So, of course, he's not going to name one of them. So it's Olivia, Michelle, and Cara going into targets for the next episode, which was called Best Friends Forever. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Kyle hates it. Kyle hates it.
But I will say, hey, listen, one thing I'll say the show got right in that mini final episode, we lost 3 people in one episode, and that is fantastic.
It was fantastic, but I will say it was still 2 less than I was hoping for.
Yeah, when they said Purge, I was thinking like
4
people going in the mini final and plus an elimination. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the number, but fine.
Yeah.
3 is still better than 1.
And I'm realizing that we actually, so to start off this episode, we actually have to talk about something that started at the end of episode 12. Because like we said, Banana selected Olivia, Michelle, and Cara as the targets, but during the elimination, there was some drama between Michelle and Josh. Because Josh decided that he was going to root for both Bananas and Theo because he's friends with both of them. And for me, this is just another reason that Michelle sucks. And as much as I don't really love Josh, and he was a douche when we met him, I still feel like Josh gets the short end a lot. It feels like Josh is the only one that seemingly ever has to like choose between 2 sides, and everybody else gets to play both sides however they see fit. And Michelle, during the Bananas and Theo elimination, did not like that Josh was saying, "Good job, guys, keep going." And Michelle turned and said, "You rooting for Bananas is directly rooting against me."
Yeah, she took this really personally as somebody who was not even a little bit at all involved.
She took this really personally also for somebody who has played the game in a rather cold way when she is in power. There were some lines and things that she had said during 39. Was it 39 when she was playing with Jay? Was that 39 or 38? I think it was 39.
I don't remember.
Oh, Battle for a New Champion. That was the
39 Battle for a New Champion. Yep, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
I think they did also play together. It was 38 Ride or Dies, right? And they played together then also, I think.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't really the crux of it. I think the worst of them was in 39.
Oh, 100%. With a soft.
Yeah. Yes, and the way that she would speak to some people when she would make decisions, it's like, well, this is just what it is. It's a game. It's a game. It's like, well, you sure don't take that tack when it's you that's, right. When your back is up against the wall. So I don't really like that. And John, I would agree with everything you said up until something that Kylan said in this episode, because he said, Josh needs to understand the difference of you can be friends with everyone and you're not allies with everyone. And that really resonated with me because it brought me back to, remember back when I lived with Steve and we played those mega risk games, not just the ones of the 3 of us, because obviously the 2 of us would always team up against Steve because, fuck him and we love us. But like the mega ones, when you included, we
like
always
6
played
people.
We played Game of Thrones Risk. Okay, just to bring everybody in, right? So when you play with a smaller group, you're only playing on the Westeros map. But when you play with more people, it spreads out. And now you have all of Essos. The entire game is different. Kyle Petty is not actually good at the game of Risk. Kyle Petty is good at politics. I make good deals with people, and people do not fuck with me. And because of that, they all of a sudden, they realize I'm too big to beat, and you realize you already lost. That's always been my strategy, is that I just play on just being everyone's friend. And it's like, but even in that, I'm very well aware of who I'm not playing with. And I'm very clear about it. I'm like, I'm sorry. I have this deal over here. I can't do that for you. And I say that in front of everybody. Like, I'm sorry. I will not do this. I will not do that. And it doesn't mean you're not friends at the end of the day. So I am curious to know a little bit more about how Josh manages these relationships in the downtime. When we watch Big Brother, we get a lot of insight into how these relationships work and the mechanics and dynamics of them because we have the feeds. I'm so curious to know what the downtimes look like in this house because it isn't just the people that Josh is working against that make these comments about his gameplay. It's also the people that he's playing with. And it makes you feel like there's a lot more validity to all of these arguments because it's coming from everyone. So I think that Josh is just not playing right. And that's personal feelings aside. It just, everyone seems to say it. So
and that's
maybe
totally,
Josh, you're not playing well.
That's totally fair. And I could see Josh being very bad at managing like relationships the way he should in this game. I just felt like in this particular moment, like he's literally just saying during this elimination, like, good job, guys, keep going. Like I don't know. I felt like in this moment for Michelle to lash out.
I think it would be different if it was one of those eliminations where like the people on the side were helping people.
He never even said Banana's name.
Like he wasn't helping anybody. He wasn't helping somebody against somebody else. He was just kind of cheering for everybody.
Right. He was like flat out just like, great job, guys. Keep pushing, keep going. Like he never said anybody's name. It's not like he was like,
I hate how this is going to make me sound like I'm defending Michelle because I never want to be that. But like I'm curious to know what other things happened before that. Because if you've already been feeling like Josh is not really working for you and he's kind of been making moves and having conversations that work against you, if you're now watching an elimination and you're watching him cheer the person on, it's almost like a bang, bang, bang. And at what point do you say like, enough, you're fucking pissing me off? And I think that that's what that moment was. And it just felt very out of context. And I feel like the edit didn't do her any favors in that because we didn't get to see the build up to it. So I don't think it was just that one action that pissed her off. I think it was, I've had enough now. Because my nerves are on edge because I'm so scared about how this turns out. And here you are doing this, and it's like, I've just had it.
And that's totally fair. But I also feel like Josh has made mistakes, and Michelle also has. So I feel like there has been times like where I don't blame Josh for being like, you know what? I'm going to root for both of these guys, even Bananas, because my alliance keeps putting me in positions that I'm uncomfortable in, always having to choose sides. It wasn't that long ago. It was a few weeks ago where everybody was like pressuring Josh to have to go talk to Rachel because he had a relationship with her to save other people.
That didn't feel good.
Right. So I feel like I could see why Josh would also be feeling like in this moment, like you said, Michelle was like, all right, enough. I could see Josh being like the same thing. Like, all right, enough. I'm not rooting for anybody here. My whole alliance has been putting pressure on me all season. Now I'm not saying I have a dog in the fight. I'm just rooting for both of these guys. And I still can't catch a break. You're still throwing me under the bus.
Yeah, I just think the situation referencing the entire Casey situation and pressuring him to go talk to Rachel is there are more numbers then. As the game has gotten smaller, if you're truly going to be playing the middle, this is when you just be quiet. You don't have to cheer at all. And I think that dynamic shifts a little bit just when there's a smaller group. I think I'm still more Team Michelle on this one. I hear you. I can drop down. I was 80-20 going into the conversation. I'll drop it. But I'm still with Michelle on this one. Like this, and I also don't really see any world, to be also very, very, very fair, I don't see any world in which I would ever give Josh the benefit of anything. He is so low on my list of likes that I really don't think there's any action he could ever take that would ever change my opinion of him. I will always be against him. I will always boo him. I will always root against him wholeheartedly with every fiber of my 450-pound being.
Damn.
Josh Martinez can never do right in my eyes.
Wow. Wow.
All right, so let's go, Michelle.
Wow.
Jeez.
I mean, I hate them both, so I don't really care.
I
either
know.
way.
I came back to the podcast with a lot of smoke. Like we
Lot.
said, it's been a rough couple weeks, and he's gonna catch a lot of my ire on tonight.
Oh God. But all right, so this takes us into episode 13, Best Friends Forever. It takes us into our daily challenge, which was, of course, called the 40-yard dash. I generally like any challenge where it involves tunnels being carved into the dirt where you have to run in underground. Yeah, it's very fun.
Oh,
I do prefer when people are colliding with each other, which we didn't get a lot of in this, but this was still a pretty fun one. So there was a giant number 40 carved into a dirt field, and within it are 6 puzzle pieces and all kinds of obstacles. Players race into the 40 and gather puzzle pieces as fast as they can. They bring them back to their station, one piece at a time, and complete their puzzle. The first man and woman to complete their puzzle will win today's challenge. All right.
Oh, if you're audio only, I'm so sorry.
Fun daily challenge. Michelle had a 1-minute penalty for coming in last place at the previous daily challenge, and that penalty did hurt her because she did come in last place, which means she would be going straight to elimination. Corey came in last place for the men, meaning that he'd be getting a penalty at the next daily challenge. Our winners were Cara, Maria, and Jordan. I'm glad to be seeing some life here from Cara. Feels like she's been non-existent on this season except for her drama with Laurel. And last episode, I brought up how we saw people like Olivia, Michelle, and Kylan talking about pulling Cara in as a number. Here, we see her get a daily challenge win. We also see Corey kind of talking about working with her more closely. So all of a sudden, it feels like Cara's a part of the game, which is nice. But something else that was interesting about this daily challenge was that the targets coming into it were both were Cara, Olivia, and Michelle. This episode, we actually did not get a chamber at all. It was not necessary because one of the targets, Cara, won. One of the targets, Michelle, came in dead last, which means there was just one target left. With Michelle going straight to elimination, no need for any debate. We would be having a battle of the best friends. Michelle and Olivia in elimination.
Kyle seems.
Well, I had to throw in the battle of the best friends because Kyle was talking earlier about how tired it was of hearing about the best friend thing.
Yeah, I do just want to. I don't want to go back too far, but I do want to shine some light on the fact that I do believe there was some potential tomfoolery in this challenge. Like when they kept saying check, and they would give just a split second of what they did. Some of them pyramids looked mighty shoddy. So I don't know. I would have called for an audit or something. Because some of these pyramids are and it's I don't know about that. And TJ was good. And I was like, really?
Are you sure?
He's like, are you sure? Who checked that? Can we get a producer here? I don't know. So some of that, I gotta say, he is my challenge husband, but Johnny's pyramid didn't look right.
There was a point where Bananas said check, and he was still holding a puzzle piece.
Good. You're good. It didn't seem right. And I gotta also say, my girl Aviv, it didn't look right. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like production maybe forced this situation a little bit.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
You also didn't have to show us anything. You could have just said that they said check and showed us any pyramid. Any pyramid didn't have a person in the shot. I'm sure you have them. There's enough drones to go around. You could have manufactured this in any way.
But yeah, so this obviously took us to our bus ride where the footsie or not footsie happened. We had a little interesting moment at the bar. I already mentioned Corey and Cara Maria kind of talking about working together. Corey was probably the worst hit by Nehemiah being purged because Corey has very few allies.
Got nobody.
So it was kind of interesting to me to see the conversation between Corey and Cara because Corey apparently considers Michelle his number one in this game, which I don't even know why. Do you guys know why that is a thing?
No idea.
Because Michelle has an amazing social game. That's literally the only reason. Because,
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's really no foundation for that at all that I can think of.
Yeah. And it set up a few interesting things because Corey is sitting there thinking, all right, if Michelle wins, I'm hoping she doesn't pick me because she's my number one. But if she does pick me for a target, Michelle's going to drop and you're going to go up, Cara. That's basically what Corey was saying. So yeah, we had. Yep.
I do also appreciate though. Like Corey was very, very transparent in this conversation, which is something that I don't think we've seen from him in the past. Like he literally said, listen, I had these conversations with Michelle already. This is what places her here. This is where I stand right now. But if this happens, this happens. Like people don't speak that transactionally in the challenge house, especially because every decision that these people make are based on emotions and not really like game decisions. So I was just impressed with the way that he handled this here. This is somebody who he's not played the game with before, and he treated it like a business transaction. And I thought that was good. Corey has not been good at this in the past. So
yeah. And I've always really liked Corey, to be honest. Corey and Nelson, they've always been super tight. I've always liked them when they've been on the challenge. I feel like Corey has been around for a while, right?
Yeah,
like,
I just don't think they've been good at the game,
right?
But I like them. Yeah,
and I'm hoping though that maybe Corey is starting to like get a little better socially, strategically, because I feel like he's definitely young enough to still like continue to compete physically on the game for a long time. And he's someone that's been on there a long time that's never won that I would love to see win eventually.
Me too.
So I hope Corey's trajectory is still going up rather than on the tail end.
I think it is. Yeah, I love him.
All right, so I guess pretty much right before the elimination, all we had was Michelle and Aviv kind of talking about the whole awkward bus thing and the footsie and all that. But other than that, we went on to our elimination, which was called Stranded. This was between Michelle and Olivia, of course. For this elimination, we had two giant DNA strands in the middle of the arena. And these DNA strands would be acting as ladders. Each player would have to build their ladder using different size rungs from their station. There were 40 in total for season 40. Nice. And once a player would reach the top of their... I know, I like that too, right? I like that.
Very good. Very good.
But once a player reaches the top of their ladder, they'd release a bag full of letters. The first person to figure out the 3-word phrase would be the winner of the elimination. I don't know, with the editing, maybe I'm totally off, but it seemed fairly close, this one.
It looks really close, yeah.
Right? I feel like I don't know with the editing, because Olivia was complaining about being dyslexic so much and all that, and I don't know if the editing was playing any games to make it look closer than it was, but it seemed pretty close.
I think that Olivia was definitely ahead in that moment, but I had all the confidence in the world that Michelle was going to be in a good position to catch up because of the puzzle.
Right.
That's
Olivia had a huge lead at first, but then by the time she got to all of the letters, I think...
Yeah.
Right, which is why I think this was a fantastic elimination challenge. I loved this as the capital L. This is fantastic.
Really
it's a really good one.
I just thought everyone else was an idiot. Like everyone else, like in the stands, like, oh, Michelle's got this. She does crosswords. This is not a crossword.
Right.
This is
right.
This is very, very much a word scramble. Yeah. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, she does crosswords. There was no.
Yeah, that's not
no words going vertically. Not a single one.
This is essentially Wordle.
Right. Yeah. You are so bad at crosswords that you don't even know what one is.
I was
crosswords. Crosswords. It's in it.
Watching Olivia's strategy was like making me itchy because like they had the 3 letters that were locked in that they gave you, and they were like, "This is
and
where
she
these go."
moved it, right? Oh,
Yeah, she just had everything all over the table, and like none of those 3. Because she was like, "How am I supposed to figure this out?" And I was like, "Girlie, they gave you the
They gave you
beginning.
3,
You just
and you just
ruined
moved them
it."
around. It's gone. So that's it. You already lost. Well, you didn't lose, but you certainly made it a lot harder.
Yeah, because now
Yeah.
you just have all these letters and no concept for what might go where.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that same thing and had the same thought. So, the phrase
But
that they were
fucking
trying,
Michelle, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no, it's okay. The phrase they were trying to figure out was "not eliminated tonight." Not eliminated tonight. Michelle won. What were you going to say, Kyle?
I just wanted to give Michelle some flowers. You cannot deny this woman is something else. She's annoying as hell. I don't like how she plays the game, but damn it, she won't go. You got to give her some credit for that. You have to. I'm not going to start calling her queen yet. Maybe a duchess.
A duchess.
You know, the duchess of the challenge. But like, she's impressive.
Oh, she's good. I think she did get purged though, right? Didn't she get purged in 39? Because her and Jay were running.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Tread lightly,
were...
though. Tread lightly. We don't want to talk about people who don't do well in purges because our girl Laurel just went. So like that really that knocks out a lot a good
yeah,
foundation.
Laurel was a real quitter in that one.
She was, but like like easy, too hard on the purged.
I'm just saying. Like I said, I haven't seen Michelle in Survivor, but and she is a good competitor. She is. I'm just I can't take the whining anymore.
I agree.
So
I agree. I'm just respecting the game. I have to put some respect on her name. The fact that, like we said before, that Corey is saying, "Oh, Michelle's my number one." What?
Yeah,
like, where did that come from? Yeah. Right? And it's like, yo, kudos to Michelle for getting that to work. I don't know where that came from.
How about the fact that
go? I get it.
I always associated before 39 anyway. I always assumed that Nerys and Olivia were the best friends, and yet somehow Michelle got Olivia to betray Nerys, and Olivia and Michelle are still best friends.
Yeah.
Listen, at some point, I have to stop the hate. Like Blevins was here. He had too much fun with this. Because again, I'm not
field day.
Exactly. I'm not pulling out the fireworks or anything like that. Like I'm not Team Michelle, but I am starting to turn. You gotta start respecting her now.
All right.
She makes a way out of no way. This is her 3rd elimination.
Yeah, she
cries all through it, and she still wins. The hell is going on?
She's been to elimination 3 times this season. She's won all 3. She's taken out Tina, Naya, and now Olivia. Now with her win, she had the power to choose 3 targets for next week. Those were Bananas, Josh, and Corey. So I mean, I guess my question here is, obviously we were wondering, would it be Corey or Derek chosen, right? And I get it. Michelle and Olivia are best friends. Derek and Olivia are very close. But if you're trying to play your own game here, right? Are you protecting your friends, or are you protecting the people that can help you win in the game, right?
Especially considering Olivia's not here no more.
Right.
Olivia's not going to be there to be pissy about it.
So would the right move have been Bananas, Josh, and Derek as targets? Or was it Bananas, Josh, and Corey the way that Michelle did it?
Michelle always wanted to put Corey in. She wanted to do that, and she did it under the guise of whatever friendship with Olivia, but she wasn't going to turn on Derek because Derek is also playing a very good social game. No one's going to touch him. Yeah. So now I think Michelle just said that.
Yeah.
That's what she always wanted to do.
Yeah. And of course, we saw Corey and Cara acknowledge each other following the elimination. So this definitely means, Michelle is off well, maybe not off Corey's board, but has definitely dropped significantly. And it's now Corey and Cara as each other's number ones. I mean, I feel we can confidently say that they are both each other's number ones. You know what I mean? Like that we see all the time in this game that somebody's got,
to me.
right? Because I feel like we see so many times in this game that people will have a number one, but whoever their number one is has two people ahead of them. So here it's like we got two people, good competitors, and Corey and Cara riding for each other, and I hope it pays off. I really do. I like both of them a lot.
I want it to happen so bad. I would love if those were our two winners. It's just so different. It's a whole different storyline. It would actually it would renew my interest in this because I keep saying like I feel like this is my last season. Like, this has been
Kyle's not having a good time.
No, this has been rough. The best part about this season is talking about it with you two.
Yeah.
Is watching the show. I'm just like, I'm constantly complaining. I'm yelling. I don't even want to watch it. It's rough. It's rough.
I know the challenge has been rough lately. Actually, it's funny, but before, like at the start of each episode, I don't know if you guys have noticed, they've like gone to a photo in the house and like kind of replayed that scene, whether it was from season 29 or season 10 or season whatever. They'll like play a clip from challenge history, and it's made me think about those past seasons. Like there was it was the Invasion of the Champions was one that they played recently, where CT was talking about like, oh, I gotta get these young guns out of here, they've been here too long, you know. And it was the Invasion of the Champions season, and I'm like, we do not get the same challenge anymore. We really don't. Like it's made me want to go back and rewatch old seasons to get that feeling again. I feel like
I think classic challenge for me was, I guess, era 2. Like that's when it was good to me. Heat's coming back. Sorry, y'all. Era 2. It was those 20s. You know, the 30s.
Yeah, the 20s. No.
Yeah, especially the late 20s. There's still potential here. I don't know.
And that's why I'd love to talk.
The Evelyn clip, though. What was that about? Like, why Evelyn? She hasn't been around for a really long time.
That's why I don't know if
they're next one. Maybe like I don't know. They showed some clip of her, and I was like, wait, why Evelyn?
I'm wondering. Like, I don't know. No, I don't know if they post anything that's supposed to be like specifically relevant to those people. I think maybe it could just be scenarios that are similar to what we're facing now. Like, I don't know if Evelyn was talking about a friend in the game, and then in this episode we got Olivia and Michelle going against each other, and it's just a similarity of two friends having to face each other or something.
That could be. I was just so excited to see and hear her. I was like, oh my gosh, because I kind of forgot about her. And I mean, she was another one. Yeah. Didn't she play? She played Fresh Meat with Wes, didn't she?
Yeah.
God, I loved her, and I hope that doesn't like get me canceled or something. I don't know if maybe the reason why she hasn't been back is because she's terrible. I don't know. I remember way back when.
Well, I would hope if it was something like that, they wouldn't be showing clips of her before.
Sure.
You know, before.
Okay.
Episode,
all right. We'll trust them. All right. Okay. So, all right. Right.
But. No, yeah, I agree though. I miss those seasons in the 20s, early 30s maybe. You know, like I miss that time period. I really do. But so for our next on, there honestly wasn't really anything like super specific other than the daily challenge. We see that we're on that runway with the two high-speed trucks going down. And it looks like players on each side have to knock off targets. But other than that, we didn't really see any like specific drama or anything between people. It was just a lot of like strategizing and scrambling, people figuring out, because after this episode, we're down to 12 people. So like the final really is right around the corner, thankfully. But
we hope so, because we say right around the corner, but like even if the challenge of the final challenge or whatever is 8 people, we still need to lose 4. That's at least 4 weeks, and these finals have been 2-parters.
Unless we get a double elimination,
we're at least,
which maybe we'll still get a double or something.
We're gonna get another one of those.
I don't know. Maybe not, but hopefully.
Yeah, that might be wishful thinking. I think we're in for at least 6 weeks. Is the thing here?
Do you think though that like because it's Battle of the Eras, we started with a larger group of people? Like, could it be a 10-person final? Maybe we only have 2 more eliminations to go.
We hope and pray.
That'd be fine.
I guess we'll find out. Let's look at our teams though.
Oh yeah, let's see how we're not doing.
Yeah, of course. Let's look at the team.
Laurel really screwed up my screwed things up for me here. I was going in order, and Theo leaving would have been nice. I would have had Corey on the second row, and then all my top row if Laurel didn't screw up so bad. But there goes Laurel.
You can't even say she screwed up. She just said, "I'm done."
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going home. So I only have one woman left in Tori. I feel good about having her because I think she's going to do well.
Oh, that's interesting, though.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That really affects your chances of winning here.
Yeah, we got Jordan, Derek, Corey for the men, and just Tori for the women.
Wow, because we're going to have 2 draft winners this season.
Yeah.
And if you lose her, you already only have a 50% shot.
Yeah.
At best.
That's it.
Ooh,
That's it.
Ooh, we love it. Oh, yes.
Team Morgino. Only down to 3 players here. You lost both Olivia and Nehemiah.
Yeah.
Meaning that you are down to Cara. Great pick still in the game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Josh and Michelle.
I got some
problems.
I got some big time problems.
Well, I think your biggest problem, honestly, is your male.
Yeah, the Josh one.
And I'm going to remove my personal feelings. I don't know that he's in a great position in this game because people keep talking about how everyone is hyper aware of the fact that he's playing the middle. So that really does actually decrease your value. Which is why, and I think he does pick up on that, which is why I think he's trying to now push himself into the Johnny/Rachel's Angels alliance thing now.
Yeah,
I think he realizes that like he's got a problem here. He's going to have to pick a side, and we'll see if that works for him. The only problem with picking a side at this stage is that like you don't have as much stock in it.
Yeah,
you're still the lowest on anyone's list,
right?
So,
yeah.
But he is the only other male in that particular alliance, so that could also serve them as well.
Yeah.
Because if Bananas goes, they may actually need Josh, and maybe that serves him.
Yeah. True. Let's look at Team Petty with the most remaining players in the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom, now we here.
Kyle still has our footsie partners, Aviv and Bananas.
Yes. Jenny's in it too.
Yeah, Jenny, Kylan, and Rachel. So you actually have all of the remaining Bananas Angels and Bananas, and then just Kylan.
You know, I really like the way my team looks right now.
It's good. It's solid.
Yeah, and these are good people. These are good people in good positions. I would say I think the person in the most danger would probably be Aviv.
Is that because of her injury, you think, or?
Well, the injury, and I don't think she has strong ties still to other people. I think it's Aviv and Jenny that are probably on the bottom here.
And it's interesting,
and I put her a little bit below Jenny because of the injury, like you said.
Right. Well, the injury, but also what was interesting to me in the 40-yard dash daily challenge, that they made a point to show us that Jenny and Rachel were working together. They were like very, and Rachel made a comment too, like talking about how like the fact that her and Jenny were doing so well in the challenge is like a real testament to like when strong women work together, what they can accomplish. And so like the fact that they were highlighting the fact that Rachel and Jenny were working together, but not Aviv, who's part of those Angels. It's like Jenny and Rachel didn't include Aviv in that plan. So
yeah, that's a very astute observation. And it makes good sense because like, I mean, look at Aviv. I mean, if you had to look at it from a numbers or like a statistical point of view, this is a girl who has an injury, who says this can flare up at any time. She's aware of it. She knows it's a thing. I ain't putting as much stock in you anymore. This random ass thing just flare up and fuck everything up. Like that's not great. That's not great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so those are all our teams, and let's just remind everybody of our one undrafted player in this season, the unwanted. Sorry, Katie. 40 players.
That was so unnecessary. Like
40 players in this cast. 39 drafted. 39 drafted. One undrafted.
This is not approved by the Petty Basal House. This is so rude. So rude.
It's very fun to me. So, all right. Well, I think that's all I had for this. Do you guys have any other thoughts about the Challenge 40?
I don't think so.
No. It was just really good to see you guys. I miss
you. No,
Yeah,
seriously. This is actually the first time that all three of us have podcasted together since before the election. So.
Yep.
And on that note, you can find us on the socials at Strat Pod. Please find us. We'd love to hear from you. I think are going to be more active on Blue Sky coming up, so keep an eye out for that also. But for the future here, the immediate future for our podcast, I guess the next couple of things we'll be doing will be Survivor on Monday. Does that sound right? Is that good for everybody? Seems like that's the only day Mikey's available from what he said now. So I suppose we will keep that on Mondays. And then on Thursday, next Thursday, we'll be back for the Challenge 40 once again. I'm assuming both times will be 8 p.m. Eastern. If anything changes, we will let you know on the socials. So go find us. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Have a great night.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.